As Endgame shatters every box office record imaginable and we're heading into its second weekend, I finally got to see the movie a second time. So I'm prepared to do a top 5 favorite fight scenes from Endgame. I'm gonna rank those. What are your top 5 favorite fight scenes from Endgame? Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and these are my top 5 favorite fight scenes from Avengers Endgame. Now, of course, this will be a spoiler-filled video because there is really no other way to go through and talk about my favorite fight scenes without a whole bunch of spoilers. So, if everything was all sold out for you as we are heading into this second weekend and you still haven't seen Avengers, that's totally cool. Put this in your watch later, and then after you see the movie, let's nerd out on some of the top 5 best fight scenes in this movie. So, leave those top 5 in the comments. Let's dive into this. Number 5, our introduction to Ronin. That was an intense action sequence, an intense fight scene, and most of it was the emotional intensity. I mean, first off, it is cool to see Hawkeye go from bow and arrow, like he doesn't miss, to taking up swords. The dude is a fighter, so it is really cool to get to see him fight, but there's also an emotional power to that scene. I mean, it's the fact that his family, who are good, whom he loves, got disintegrated in the Thanos snap. And then these villains, these bad guys, these people that hurt other people are part of the half that got left over from the snap. It shows you the anger, the vengeance, the bitterness. That anger has to channel somewhere. It has to come out somewhere, and it's coming out in this Punisher type style crazy violence that's even outside of Hawkeye's normal character. So it was really like powerful on so many levels. Like, one, it's cool to see him fight with a sword and see him go up against that guy and take him out, but it's also incredibly sad because what we're really seeing is just the pain, the hurt, the vengeance, the torment that is going on inside of Clint. Number 4. Cap vs. Cap. Yeah, you knew this action sequence was going to be in there because it is just awesome to see Captain Steve Rogers of the present go up against Captain Steve Rogers from the first Avengers movie. I really did dig that scene. I thought it was cool. Both times I watched this movie, I had to take note that our present day Steve Rogers is a little bit slower. It's not that he's weak or anything, but he seems to be a little slower. I'm thinking that has to do with the fact Thanos snapped and he spent 5 years not being a superhero, but being a superhero in a different way and leading support groups and helping people move on. So now here he is suiting up, he's jumping into the past, and as he goes into the past and he faces his 2012 self, who is still a fighter, who is still a hero, who just finished fighting a war, who is still, like, in a sense, fresh. Oh my gosh, the only way he could win that fight is to name drop Bucky, remembering from, Civil War. He hears Bucky's name, he just freezes like a deer in the headlights. So that was incredibly smart. Do you think that, when he did the Mind Stone on his past self, that he made his past self forget that he fought against, the future him? I don't know. It's just a question. I'm tossing it out there. We can talk about that in the comments. Number 3.
Don't say it. Don't you say it.
On your left.
Come on!
On your left. Oh my gosh. Not only is this like one of the best callbacks to the Winter Soldier and such an epic line, it was like one of the most Lord of the Rings type scenes. First off, it's just so cool to hear on your left, and then the portals slowly begin to open, and out walks Black Panther. More and more portals begin to open, and we see Doctor Strange and Peter Quill and Drax and Mantis and Spider-Man attaching his web to a cloud, but who cares? He attaches it to that cloud and he swings right on in. It just looks so abundantly epic. And then that line that we've been waiting for all this time, Avengers assemble! And man, they rushed that field. I'm telling you, it was epic Lord of the Rings moment. And then you got Giant Man, one solid punch, and he knocks out the floating worms. Oh my gosh. There's nothing else that could be said about that scene other than it is sheer epic. Number 2, I am Iron Man. That whole fight scene just leading up to Tony Stark using his suit. You know, the nanotech in the suit, the nanotech in the gauntlet that he had that made the stones leave Thanos' hand and move down to his suit, giving him the gauntlet. It is a really, really good fight scene. I mean, it's one of the scenes where they actually use Captain Marvel pretty well. I mean, come on. You have to admit, whether you like Captain Marvel's role in this movie or you disliked it, you have to admit it was kind of cool when she was trying to keep his fingers apart and hold his hand open, and he goes to headbutt her, boom! And she just doesn't move. Like, you have to admit that's cool. And you have to admit it's cool. He grabs the Power Stone and then BAM! Hits her. But then you just have that moment between Tony and Doctor Strange where Tony just looks at him like, is this it? And Doctor Strange, the one. Oh my gosh. And then Tony does it. He takes the stones, and then you have Thanos thinking like, he's on top of the world. I am inevitable. What? What? I am Iron Man. And, you know, even the second time, it was Spider-Man that made me cry. Pepper too. I mean, she's got some good lines there too, but it's Spider-Man. Number 1, Captain America in Mjolnir. The hammer, the magic hammer. That was so awesome. You know what I missed? Okay, so I saw this that Thursday night, opening night, and as soon as that hammer flew and it came back and Captain America was the one that caught it, our whole theater just erupted in applause, man. I was one of them that I just uncontrollably went, yeah! Saw it today at a matinee with like 5 other people in there, and it was just dead silence, and that just kind of put a damper on things. Like, come on, people! He's got Mjolnir! Just yeah! Come on! But man, when he picks up Mjolnir and just like undercuts Thanos and like knocks him up there, and he throws his shield, throws the hammer bounces off the shield, hits the... gosh! It's just awesome to see Captain America like be worthy and pick up the hammer, and Thor be like, I knew it! Which confirms my theory. Avengers, Age of Ultron, they're playing that game, lifting Thor's hammer, and what does Captain America do? It makes a sound. I think the sound was Steve Rogers realizing, oh, I'm worthy, I can lift this hammer. I'm just gonna quickly set it right back down so that Thor doesn't get a little embarrassed here.
Nothing.
Like, I really think that was Steve Rogers' politeness, but I think that sound we heard in Age of Ultron was Captain America actually lifting it, realizing that he could lift it, and stopping before he, you know, really did lift it. So there it is. Those are some of my top 5 favorite fight scenes, and I bet you I'll see this movie a 3rd time, and maybe I'll rearrange things or add some more. But man, let's use this as an opportunity and talk further about this movie. What did you think of these top 5 fight scenes, and what are your favorite fight scenes? Or if you just want to go this way, what's your favorite scenes in Endgame? Go ahead and leave that in the comments below. If you haven't seen this movie, again, spoilers, so there's probably going to be spoilers in the comments, so just be careful about that. Just tossing that all out there. So, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified from my next ranking video, movie review, theological analysis, trailer reaction, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.